Hi, my name is Karen, and I lost my 20-year-old son to drug addiction on January 16th of 2005. I would like to speak to you today about how he started and the things that happened to him. He was a very happy, curious boy with a smile that won over many people's hearts. The earliest I can call that when he started with drugs is when he was in 9th grade. We got a call one day, and we got called to the school, and he had been with a few friends, and they were drinking Robitussin. And so he got suspended from school for a few days, and from there on his drug addiction started, just going from one thing to the next. He then moved quickly on to marijuana, and he got in trouble with that, and that was about the summer between his 9th grade and sophomore year. And we had a very good judge in Santaquin who really tried to work with him hard and try to help him overcome this. When he was a sophomore, he started using Oxycontin and Lortab, and he kept doing those on and off all through that year. And when he was a junior in high school, I pulled him out because he wasn't going to school, and he went and lived away for a while with his girlfriend and her family. And it's during that time he moved on to heroin, which is a drug that he would never be able to get over. He came back. He was about 18, and he came back to live with us, and he started pawning stuff, and we wanted to do everything we could to help him. And after he pawned my husband's guns, I have 2 brothers and a brother-in-law that are all cops, and that's when they told me that we needed to turn him in and try to get him some help. And so we turned him in ourselves for pawning the guns, which is a felony, and that he was took to the Utah County Jail. I did bail him out that first time after 3 or 4 days, and because he promised he would never do it again, and the jail was the most horrible place he'd ever been. And so I bailed him out and got him home, and from there it just went on and on. He just kept pawning things, stealing things, doing everything he could. Nothing matters. The only thing that matters is getting that drug, the next high. He was in jail. He got into the drug court program, and then a few times he didn't do the things he was supposed to, so they have you go in and serve a weekend. And then he went into the Foothill treatment program, and he did so good in there. He was in there quite a long time. He was almost one of their longest ones, and he did so good. And when he got out, he looked so good. And of course that didn't last very long, and he was back into it. He dropped out of the drug court program, and he worked for me all this time. My family owns their own business, and he worked, but he stole from my dad. And after that, he got in the work release program. And I know that he had still been using, and he entered the jail on Wednesday for the work release program, and he quit using heroin cold turkey that day. And he still came to work Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Saturday, he didn't call me. And the next morning at 5 a.m., I got the call that he had took his own life at the Utah County Work Release Program. They found him hanging in the bathroom. And this has been very hard. And my message would be to you to just please not ever choose to use it there's so many people that care about you, and it ruins their lives. I mean, they want to help you, but you just don't realize how many people you are affecting when you choose to use these drugs, and there just can't be a first time. You just can't ever, ever try them. You've got to say no from the very first, and you've got to decide young. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Robert Scott. I have 10 children, and I live in Elk Ridge, Utah. This story may seem that it's about my son's addiction, but it's really a story about choices, particularly one choice that he made early in his life that robbed him of everything. He was a curious little stinker kid. He loved to tease. He loved to tear things apart and see what made them run. His favorite thing was to go snowboarding off the top of our house, as you can see from the picture. He fished, he hunted, he played games, he loved to ski and snowboard. During this talk, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and use your imagination for a while. So just close your eyes for a minute and imagine that you see a room. And there's a doorway in the room, and over the doorway it has a sign that says Jake's Playroom. It could be your playroom if this was your story. The room is very simply comfortable. It has bright colored walls, plush carpet, lots of windows, with an open doorway that he could go in and out of. There were lots of toys and games in that room, and there were popular music being played. But in the corner there were a few curious, innocent-looking packages. Now open your eyes for a moment. Do you remember how nice the room looked? If you ask yourself, would you probably go in that room? You'd probably say yes. But would you unwrap those special little gifts in the corner? I want you to store that memory in your brain for a while. This picture is what Jake looked like when he entered into that room. As Jake entered the room, he would laugh because it made him feel good. Jake began unwrapping those curious little packages in the corner. The first little package was something called Mini Thins. He would go down to the local truck stop, take his allowance, and buy Mini Thins, which are drug-like substance with ephedra, caffeine, and other over-the-counter stimulants. It made him feel funny. Jacob always thought that he was the life of the party. One time when we caught him doing that, we bawled him out and he promised he would never do it again. As an innocent parent, I just believed him, and I thought that was going to be the end. But within a short time, he started unwrapping the other presents. First it was marijuana, then prescription pills, and then alcohol. Now I want you to close your eyes again for just a moment. Now imagine that the room is changing. Somehow the walls have become darker. The windows have blinds on them that can be shut from the inside. The doorway is no longer open for easy access. It has a metal door on it with a lock that's been installed on the inside to keep all the other people out. The carpet's been removed. Now there's a dress code. To get in and stay in that room, it needs to identify all the players. Some of them wear earrings, some wear tattoos, some of them have certain signs that they wear, some of them the clothes that they wear. But there is a code to get in that room. Dark colors seem to be popular in there. Dim lights, heavy metal music with angry lyrics. Now Jake, when he was in that room at that state, he started unwrapping the last two packages of his life. That was the heroin and cocaine. Now open your eyes and view this picture. Jake's face is sunken in. He has sores. He hasn't slept for days. This picture was taken at Jake's brother's wedding. Everybody else in the family was happy to be there, and Jake was trying to be happy. Would you go into that room? Probably not. But remember, the room didn't look that way when Jake first entered it. Jake was in that room playing for 3 years with his new best toys. Jacob couldn't hide his addiction any longer as he went through detention centers and then to jail and the repeated drug habs. Our family spent over $100,000 sending him to rehabs to help him. We witnessed his struggles, his pain, his misery, his isolation. But unfortunately, his fun was all over. We were just average parents trying to do our best. He used to say, "You just don't understand." And now I understand that I never could understand because I am not an addict. Jacob wanted to know how to get out. He got into a lot of trouble with the law. He lost his freedom to drive. He lost his ability to work and earn money. So he stole money from his loved ones. He lost his ability to choose. He had obsessive thoughts of getting high about 24 hours of the day. He had horrible nightmares about getting high when he went cold turkey. He became depressed. He had lost his free agency. Jake was in a self-inflicted prison. Now close your eyes one last time. Now the picture of that room getting smaller and smaller, with barely room for just one person. No table or no chair to sit at. Heavy dark feelings, feeling of depression and suicide. Stale suffocating air. No windows. Only a black metal door which is locked from the outside, not the inside. Imagine being trapped in that room year after year. Imagine hearing people on the outside laughing, having a normal life, and asking yourself, why am I so miserable? Why can't I stop? How can I get out? Jake was in that room for the last 5 years of his life. This picture is of Jake in a coffin. It was only 8 years between the time Jake took his first drug and took his last drug. Jake finally got out of the addiction room on March the 1st, 2006 at age 23. He died peacefully in his bedroom after being clean for 6 months. He thought that he had it made, but he also thought he could just do it one more time. He overdosed on speedballs, which is heroin and cocaine mixed together. In the end, we lost our precious time with our son. His son Cooper was only 4 years old when Jake died, and he lost the chance of growing up with his father. His 9 brothers and sisters lost a friend and a father, and a brother. So as we come to the end of Jake's life, it's pretty sad, but you have to ask yourself, what's this got to do with me? What about you? You have choices. It's your God-given right to have freedom to choose. Those freedoms are special and precious. You have the right to trade your freedoms for slavery, to trade your freedom for drug abuse and drug addiction. You can live between 70 and 100 years and live a normal, happy life, or you can choose to have dwindling artificial highs that become harder and harder each time. Choosing to be drug-free is more than life without drugs. It is a life of future, choices, and freedoms. I hope that you will never forget that image of that addiction room, of what could be your addiction room. So remember, when a friend calls you and asks you if you want to get high and have some fun, remember you have a choice. Remember what your choices are. Remember to choose for yourself, not for them. But most of all, to remember, choose wisely. Your life and happiness depends upon it. Thank you.